start on the weekly time frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
Monthly time frame, there's something that I want you to know on the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, right? If you look at our previous candle, we could say it's a pin, but it was bearish, and we know that God likes to do weak fills. So I have a feeling price might try complete this whole week fill. So price sometimes does not do the full week fill, right? Sometimes it does the 50%, and right now we can say it's in the middle, so that's like the 50%. But we could also see price reaching the low, creating a consolidation, because we have a high created right here, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then we have a low. We could say we have a low right here. And if you look at these candles, right, this is a trail runner, because price was bullish, and then the next candle invalidated the bullish setup. And then if price wanted to go higher, this is the moment that price should have gone higher. So right now price is higher chances of actually falling, completing the whole week fill. So that's one of the things that I want you to remember. So what we will do, we will just add our support, right? And then we will add our resistance. It's also good if you even if you mark this as the monthly high and the monthly low, that's also good, because you remember when you start seeing the zones, and you know how to react. Well, you can even set your buy limit at that low. Price will most likely reject that low. Do you have any questions?
Actually no, but if I do like the buy limits, would it be like a scalp trade?
Well, depending on how it rejects, because the thing with God is we can see a big rejection, or
Mm-hmm.
it might be a scalp trade. It might not reject as strongly as we would hope for. So what I would suggest is when price reaches that area, right, you can even set an alert also, so that you know when price is around that area. Then when it hits it, right, watch how hard or how strong the rejection is. If the rejection is very strong, then you know this trade you can actually hold it for quite some time, because price might create that range that I'm talking about around this area before it breaks this area and reaches maybe around here, but first around
Mm-hmm.
here.
Okay.
Yes. So on our weekly time frame, if we look at our previous week, that's when things get very interesting. Also, I wanted to show you something very tricky. Do you see this candle?
Yeah, that's an order block, right?
Yes, that's an order block. But remember when price was around that area, right? And people were watching this as the resistance, right?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, people were actually watching this as the resistance, and then they were looking at this as the breakout candle.
Mm-hmm.
So some people were actually expecting price to reach around this area, but then this candle was, we can't even say it was a fake out, because the resistance was around this area. I'm pretty sure you also thought the resistance was around this area. But then if you were to look at this on the monthly time frame, that's where you see that price was actually just creating our upper wick. See the upper wick? So it filled the upper wick. That's that one, that weekly candle, before price could push lower. So if we wanted to catch this wholesale trade, right, the moment the new week started, right, would have been a very good entry. But if you want to look on the smaller time frames on how you would have caught the trade, if we go on, let's use the 4 hour time frame. If you go on the 4 hour time frame, do you see this? Price was ranging around this area, right?
Right.
Yeah, we had a range right here, right? And then we had the breakout, right? And then price was still giving us some bullish signals, right? But remember, we said the moment price goes back into our range, price is going to complete the whole, is going to follow in that direction. So you would have caught the trade right there at the top if you were following the monthly analysis, because you will know that price, if our previous monthly candle is that huge wick to be filled, right, at least it had to fill some of that wick. So you would know then this whole move was just a wick fill to create that upper wick, to fill that upper wick on the monthly time frame, right? And to also create an upper wick for the new candle, for price to go lower into our direction and fill our previous monthly candle. For next time, if it happens again next time, you know where to catch it. All right, so going back to where we are on the weekly time frame, if we look at our previous weeks, we have had very strong bearish candles, 1 2, and then our last week candle retraced for the retest, right, and then came back down to close as a bearish, we could say pin bar. I don't like where the body is, because if you look at where the body is, right, let me see if I can enlarge this. If you look at where the body is, right, if we put the high and the low for our previous candle, right, and then price actually dropped, but it still came back to close in the range of our previous week. I don't trust that. If price was very bearish, right, then this candle should have closed somewhere below our previous week, at least somewhere down here. So if price didn't close below the range of our previous candle, I would say there could be a possibility for price to create a range around this area before making another drop. All right, so
Yes.
so that's what I'm looking on the weekly time frame, right? So I would say it's very important if we put a zone level, the low of our previous week, right? And then if you want, you could put this low of our previous, for the week before last week, the low, just to be sure, just so that you know if price stays above this area, then you know there's higher chances that price will want to do a weak fill at the top. So I would write down in my notes that price has a higher chance of wanting to complete this weak fill before it goes any lower. So maybe price would do something like this to create that lower wick, and to also fill the bottom wick before it tries to fill the upper wick, right? So I will just write down and keep in mind that our previous weekly candle, right, might be a range that has been created. So price might want to bounce around that area before it goes lower, because we have already had 1 2 strong candles, right? And then the previous candle, it went all the way up to retest. Yes, it did close bearish, but we've already had our 3 candles, and if we have 3 candles already, right, that means they are going to be making people want to sell more, because, or if you get down into psychology, right, the moment most retail traders see 3 candles in line with what they are thinking, they want to enter in that direction. So a lot of people are looking to enter for their sales around here to finish this week. Only that I don't think it's going to happen just yet. We might see price go all the way up before it goes lower. So I would write that down just to keep in mind that might happen before price goes lower.
Okay, thank you. I'll write that down.
Right. Do you have any questions here?
Actually, no.
All right.
Thank you.
Then let's go on to the daily time frame. The daily time frame, that's where it gets interesting. So this is our daily time frame, right? I think if you look at this low, what is it respecting? We could say it's respecting this area, so this becomes a very important level. And then the low of our previous week, it's not that important to highlight it, but I would just highlight it. It's a minor level, but something to keep in mind. All right, so if we look at the daily structure, it is very possible for us to get the range that I'm talking about. If you look at the daily structure, right? So price went higher to retest this breakout, right? And then we rejected, and then price tried closing below our support right here, which this candle rejected, right? So after that candle rejected, today's daily candle did a weak fill, right? This weak fill, right? It rejected. So what can we expect now? We could say price might want to come back down to retest this low, right? And then we have to watch what price does around this area, maybe to give us some formation to go a little bit higher, maybe to come around this area before it goes down, right? That's one possibility, because we are saying we are looking for price to do that, to complete that upper wick before going into the direction that we want it to go. So we are looking for price to give us some buying structure around this area before it goes higher, right? If it doesn't do that, then we are looking at the next support. I would say this is our first next support before we even watch this week, right? Price has to break this area. So if price has to break that area, how is it going to break that area? So we could say price retested, then it dropped, this candle broke out, right? Then we could say maybe this bullish candle was a retest. See, small order block around this area. We could say it was a retest for this area, right? For price to go lower. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
All
So we
right.
just need to look later what kind of yeah, what kind of closing the candle makes, right?
Yes, exactly. So we want to see how the candles are going to close around this area. If this candle does close bearish, it will have to close below this area. But if it doesn't close below this area, then our analysis for price to go higher is very much valid.
Okay.
Yes, because if price wants to go down, then this would be the chance for it to go down. Price retested, it dropped and broke out, right? We could say that was a small retest for price to keep on dropping, right? So we're saying that's our other opinion or other view of what might happen, but we have to confirm that more on the smaller time frames. Let's go on to our 4-hour time frame. Right, on our 4-hour time frame, this is where it actually gets interesting. Remember that minor zone that I keep telling you about from our previous week? It's this one. It's this one, right? See how price rejected, and then this broke, but this rejected. So what if this was a fake out, right? And price is retesting the low right here. Maybe it would come, try retest the low again, and then push higher. You see what I mean? And Even if you look at the lower time frames, a range, it shows you how a range is very much possible. We have a high, we have a low, right? Price created a low right here, it created a high right here. If this low can hold, price would definitely reach the high. But this would be our first target, because there is a resistance right here. So this would be our first target. We'll only look to fill this week only if price breaks above this area. This would just be our first target before we can look for sell trades. Because price will reach this area, maybe play around this area, give us a fake out and then drop. But for what you want, you just want to get to this area. I would even consider putting maybe buy stops around this area. You know why I'm saying we could put buy stops around that area? Well, for the first example would be because of these, right? But then price created a low right here, right?
Right.
And then price created a higher low. And remember, if price is creating higher lows, then price is preparing to go higher.
High.
Yes. And then even if we were to look at the area, I know this was the last 4-hour candle, it's fine, but if you look at this, a new low was created, right? And then this candle came to retest it and then pushed up. If price wanted to go lower, it could have closed anyway below here, because this was the last 4-hour candle, right? So this pushed higher. So now this becomes an area of interest. So this tells us that there is a high chance that if price can break this area, which it looks like it might, there is a higher chance that price will want to retest this area before going higher, because now this is an area of interest, because it touched, this also tried touching, this touched, this sort of gave us a breakout, but price quickly put back up around above our area. This also touched, this also touched. So now this level is an area of interest. So if you are looking to take a trade, right, that's the area I would be watching to see what happens for my trade. Because price could, yes, it could try filling the bottom wick before pulling up. So even if price goes below this area, I would say watch the area. Don't take a sell trade just yet, just watch the area. You want to take a sell trade when price breaks below this level with a strong bearish candle. If it closes below this level with a strong bearish candle, then you can start thinking of taking sell trades. But if price comes into this area, all you have to do is wait, just watch until it gives you a signal to enter above this area. Making sense?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. That's on the 4-hour time frame, right? On the 1-hour time frame, on the 1-hour time frame, on the 1-hour time frame, we are looking at the range still. We might have a smaller range inside, but look at this. We had a high here, right? And we have a low right here. That's why I'm saying price is higher chances of actually coming back to this low, and this is the low that you actually want to put your buy limits, if you want to look for a trade down there, because we have a high, we have a low, right? If price is in the middle of the range, what is it going to do? It's going to reach the low before it can go higher. It might even reach the low, give us some sort of a fake out before it can go higher. So what I want you to do when you put these levels, right, I want you to highlight them. Mark this was your weekly low, this is your minor weekly zone, This is where you want to watch price stay above, right? So I want you to highlight these zones, right? Then when you're putting on your 1 hour time frame zones, let's say somewhere around here and around here, I also want you to mark them and also make sure that you know that this is just a minor range, right, inside of a potentially bigger range. So if this is a small range at the bottom, then that means our weekly analysis, that we're the one that we're watching to see if price will go higher, is very much valid, because price is at the bottom of a higher time frame range and it's ranging at that bottom and it's creating new lower highs. That gives us confirmation that price might be looking to go higher on the higher time frames. Right now, that's where people start saying price is accumulating right now. They're trying to make people sell more for price to go higher. So don't be caught in those sells. You have any questions?
No.
All right, so I'm going to put the 1 hour zones. All right, so the zone was right here, right? And this could be seen as a fake out, but since price is already broken above this, we are going to put our high right here, because this is the next high that we would want price to break above, right? And then yes, you do have a low here. I would highlight this low, but we're also watching price at this area right here. You see this area? You want to stay away from that area for now. So you want to see if price will go lower or if it will play around here the same way price played around here before it goes higher. So maybe this area is providing us the opportunity to see price wick down to our minor weekly support before it goes higher and continue going higher. So I would say, since it's only Monday, it might even be better if you're just watching to see what price does, to see which one of our analysis or our ideas price would take, and then from there you know what to do, because whatever low it sets today or whatever high it sets today, it will retest that tomorrow. You see what I mean? So there will be a chance for you to enter regardless of what market does.
Okay, that I didn't really understand.
The what?
Your last sentence. So you said the market will retest the area tomorrow.
Yes, so whatever high market sets today or
Okay.
whatever low market sets today, like on the, let's say, the daily candle, the high and the low of that daily candle, right? If market
Right.
if market doesn't do anything that's too major or that's too big, then if market is gonna go down or if it's gonna go up, it will retest the low or the high before it goes in that direction that it wants to go.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So you will have an entry regardless. But if you do see what we want whilst it's happening and you have the confirmation, then you can still enter. I was just saying, since it's Monday, sometimes it's better to just watch and see what it does before taking the trade.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
So don't forget about this minor weekly level. This is very important. This one, it's very
The
important.
1745.
Yes, it's very important. I think that's the best interesting level, because this is where price has been trying. You can even see with these small candles. You see this small candle, this was even trying to go lower to this area, and you can see how it rejected right here. It's a very interesting level, and I think if price is going to give us a buy signal, we could see it at this level. So this could hold as support, and then price might break below, right, to touch this area and then come back up. So this would be our fake out, and price would be creating a new low, and that will be pushing price to where we want it to go. All right.
Mm-hmm.
For New York, if you want a trade for New York, just watch for price to come back and retest this area. So as long as it can come back and retest this area and it does not close above, then a sell trade is very much possible. So you could put maybe a sell limit, right, but your stop loss right above these candles, because if price goes above these candles, then it's invalidating our trade, especially with the fact that 1 2 3 4 5 candles rejected that area. So when a new session opens, if price was dropping, market will try retest the nearest high. If market was going higher, market will try retest the nearest low. So since this is the only high that we have so far, when New York opens, we might see price push all the way up to retest this high for the drop,
Mm-hmm.
possibly. If price doesn't drop all the way down here before New York, then we might see it retest the high before dropping to the low. All right, but if price is somewhere around here when New York opens, then I highly recommend you just watch and wait for the actual trade, because price would have already completed the range that we are looking at. So it's going to give us a fake out, right, for price to go higher, or if it does close with a strong bearish candle below here, then you might be looking for the sell trades, but you want price to come back to retest before going lower, because that might also just be a fake out. So just watch where price is at when New York opens, and then from there you will know what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll do that. I think also if it will retest the price around 1756, it looks very similar to what happened on Friday, because it also rejected from around 12 p.m. on the 24th, the small candles, and then the
This,
big bearish 3 candles.
you mean
No,
this candle?
a little bit to the left. Yeah.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yes. Yeah, yes, it definitely could do the same thing. It definitely could do the same thing. All right. So I think it's best to keep an eye on it. I would set an alert for this area, and
The
possibly this area also.
the major one, right? The weekly.
This is the weekly. This is the major weekly one, right? And
Mhm.
then this one is the 1 hour resistance, support, right? And then this is the weekly minor one. It's the low that was created the week before last week.
Mhm.
Yeah, so well, since last week rejected, it didn't close below this low. That's why we're saying we're just watching it just in case, because if price stays above this low, then price is higher chances of going higher. So I will just highlight it there and just say this is my minor weekly. So either you can set an alert for that low or this low, or even both if you want, because this is like the price that you are watching to see, is price going to stay below this area or is price going to stay above this area. So if you are entering a trade, the only trade you'll be entering around this area is a buy. If you are looking to enter a trade, it's a buy, no sells until price gives us something major. But remember, it's only the beginning of the week, so they're not going to give us a major sell today unless something major happens. So the only trade that you'd be looking to check around down here, it's a buy, and unless if something major happens, but I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll be watching. All right, I think that's all for today.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
If you have any questions, please just send me a message.
We'll do that. Thanks for the session.
You're welcome. Also, don't forget to go over that screenshot explaining the news that I sent you.
Oh, yeah, true. I forgot about that.
Yes, just go over it and tell me if it's all making sense or if I need to explain more.
Okay. Thank you.
I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. Have a nice week as well.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Now, if you notice right here, so we were expecting a buy or a sell, right? And this was our key level right here, right? And then price, the big bearish candle price it closed below, right? And then look what's interesting, right? This candle this candle, right, this candle, it rejected, right, and tried pushing higher, but price couldn't go above that area that we were looking at, right? Remember on the weekly time frame 2 weeks ago, that low that we were watching, price couldn't go above, and that was our confirmation. So when price made a bearish candle on the 1 hour time frame right here, right, price made a bearish candle, a bearish candle, this one, that was our signal. Because first we would be aiming for the weak fill, right? And then second, we said if price starts playing below here, we are watching price to reach this area that we highlighted on Monday. So I kept most of our levels on that we did on Monday, right? Then I just redid them earlier today. Just these two, I removed the other ones and I just replaced them with these two, because if we look at price now, it reached the area that we wanted to reject, right? And then if price wanted to go down, it should have gone down around here. So we could say price created a low right here, right? And then this becomes sort of our fake out, right? And then price pushed higher, retested, and then now it's been pushing higher, right? So we could say price could give us a stop and low to take out people who have stop losses around this area, if possible, right? For price to go higher. So this will be the midweek reversal, because this was our Asian range on Monday, right? And then they induced traders to sell. So there's a possibility that this area could be our midweek reversal, and then we can now get the week fill that we were looking for. If price can come back above this area, then we know that this is a weekly reversal, because if it comes back above this area, right, price is going back into our range. Remember, when we opened on Monday, we had a range from here to here, right? So if price can go back into the range, especially if it closes above our area right here. This is a very important area. Price will go higher to the top of our range, and if it goes to the top of our range and it stays there, it's going to complete that week fill that we had. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, because remember on the weekly time frame we said price could try do a lower week first, which it looks like it did, and then on the daily time frame, that's a very strong support, because if price breaks this support, right, that means price has to complete this week fill. So there's a higher chance that price might want to reject this support. If it rejects this support, then price will be in that range, that higher time frame range, something similar to this. I'm not sure if you see it, but I think it could present us with something like that, especially with the fact that if you look at these moves, we had bigger moves, right? And then now they are smaller, and this is also very small. So that means price is now, it's now losing that selling pressure. We just need to get our peak formation at this low for price to go higher, and that would confirm our analysis that we did on Monday. So I would suggest, if for today, if price holds this low, that's good, right? For the rest of the week, if price holds this low, that's very good. If it even manages to close above this, that's even better. Then you're just looking for a retracement. If it does retrace outside, for price to even enter to go higher. So you're looking for a retracement entry, or you can enter where price is if it gives us that good confirmation. But if we are lucky, we could see price drop again to take out the stop losses, right? The stop and low. And then when we see price reaching this area, we enter. We can enter because this will be a very tight stop loss. If you were to enter at that low, you are looking to put your stop loss around, let's see on the 4-hour time frame. I think, let's see on the daily. If you were to enter on that low, right, I would say your stop loss is around just below this low, right? If you think that's too tight, then I would say maybe below this week. So you're saying maybe price would try fake out, you give us a fake out, complete this week, right, and then come back again. So let's say you are watching price later. If it does do that, you are watching to see it complete this week, right? Then you want to see it come back to close above 1727. Then you know that's your confirmation. The moment it closes above, that's your confirmation to enter, and your stop loss would be very tight. So you can look for that trade, and you can even hold it until it completes the weekly week fill. Yeah, this weekly week fill, the upper week. So it will be a very good entry. So even if you want to enter a couple of trades, I don't mind that, because it's a very good entry. It is a very tight stop loss. However, just know that price has been very bearish even with other pairs, so it could try drop all the way. But I think this is a big support for price to break without any major news. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
All right. So the other thing that I want you to take note of, why I think price is preparing to give us the midweek reversal. If we look at the 4-hour time frame, right? If we look at the 4-hour time frame, and then if we look at the 4-hour time frame, and then we calculate the levels, or we can say Elliott waves, the waves that price is presented as, it is actually completed. Because look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna get cute. Oh, my bad. If we look at this, so our major reversal was right here. Um, our major reversal was right here. There we go. Our major reversal was right here, right? So this would be 1, right? And then this would be 2. This would be 3. This would be 4. And then this would be 5. So it's complete. So if it's complete, right, that means if price is still going to go down on the higher time frames, that means there's another cycle that's going on the higher time frames, right? That means price has to give us some sort of an A, B, C, right? For price to give us the next drop. So I would say price could potentially give us something. It would potentially come around this area, of which that's what we're actually looking for. So we would maybe get something from here, right? If it does give us the weekly, the stop and low, we could get something like 1, right? And then 2, or B, and then C, right? And then once it reaches this area, right, then on the higher time frame, maybe the daily or the weekly, right, it should then become simple, just 1, right, on the higher time frames, and then this would be our 2. So even if you are using Elliott waves or market maker cycles, it's all aligning with what we're expecting. So that gives me more confirmation that from this low, we should be looking to buy. Our analysis that we did on Monday was very much correct. We said price might try to give us to complete the lower week fill or even drop. That's why we highlighted this area, right? And then from there, we can get a reversal because people were expecting price to reverse around here, right? So they have taken out a lot of traders. They've made traders think that price is selling, right? And then all they need to do is give us a stop and low for price to go higher. So that's what we're looking at. Unless if price does break out, if price does give you a strong bearish candle below here, right? However, I would still highlight this area. See this area right here? I would still highlight this area as your guide. If price doesn't break below, if your strong bearish candle, that's or how many bearish candles it gives you, right? If they don't close below that area, right, then it's not valid yet. That bearish candle needs to close below this area, then it's valid. Because if it closes below this area, right, then it has higher chances of completing the weak fill. But if it doesn't, then that's the stop and low for price to go higher. Because if you are looking at the market maker cycle, right, let's do it this way. This is our cycle, right? We have a high, right? And then price, we have a high. Sorry, we have a high, right? And then price will give you a drop, right? Level 1 consolidation or retracement, right? And then stop and high, and then drop, right? And then it gives you level 2 consolidation, stop and high, and then drop, then level 3 consolidation, then stop and high, and then drop, and then you get your reversal. So don't forget the reversal comes with the stop and low and reversal, right? So if you're looking this on the market maker, on the, if you're using Elliott waves to look at this, right, you are basically saying 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 5, our stop and low, right? Price is trying to tell us that price is going to go down, right? Takes out people's stop losses or makes people sell more, and then it gives us the reversal. So the reversal will be a monetization one. It won't just come just like that. It will come the way that its price is done so far. We can even look at this. It's the same thing. If you look at this is a monetization reversal, right? Peak formation, price give us a reversal. Are you seeing it?
Yeah, do you mean the double bottom?
Yeah, exactly. So price made a monetization reversal, right? Gave us an up move, right? We could say level 1, went higher, we could say level 2, right? Went higher, we could say level 3, the induction, and then price dropped. So it's the same formations, the same patterns. Even if you look at this area, price dropped, level 1, price dropped, could say maybe level 2, right? Price dropped, we could say maybe level 3, induction, right? Monetization reversal, and price went higher. So that's what we are looking for at this side also. I would even say maybe this was 1, right? Up to here. And then we could say 2, and then drop. We could say 3, and then drop. So if you are counting your levels, 1, 2, 3 is fine. Also, 1, 2, 3 is fine. 1 to 5 is also very good. 1 to 5 is like it's complete. 1 to 3, you're still expecting the trend to continue, but 1 to 5, it's complete. And we have 1 to 5 on the area that we are looking for. Around this area, we have 1 to 5, because if we look at this one, we have 1, right? Then 2, 3, 4, and then we have our 5, right? And then we could say this was our induction, stop and low, possibly for price to go higher, right? So if this was our stop and low, then price is rejected on the lower time frames. We go on the 1 hour time frame. Yes, price is rejected, right? But it would even be a better rejection if we could see price come back to take out people's stop losses, and then we enter for price to go higher. So maybe your first TP could even be here, and then second TP here, and then your third TP somewhere above here. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Do you think it makes sense?
Yeah, that's interesting though, with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels. Haven't really applied them actually.
Yeah, I think just not the rules. The main rules yeah, the main rules. What did it start? Okay. If you see here, sometimes it might go into those areas, but if price can actually keep up with this, if you look here, right? Let's say this was the low. This was the low of 2, right? This was the low of 2. If you look here, 2 drop. I mean, this is wave 3. It dropped, right? And then when 4 came, you can see how it touched the low of 2, and price didn't close above 2. That's what makes it even more valid. But if price it went all the way up and closed above the low of 2, then that invalidates the whole setup, right? And then that's why I'm saying where price is.
Oh, I can't hear you anymore, I think.
Oh, I'm saying, wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, I'm saying What makes it even more valid is if we highlight this, we can say this was the low of 2, right? Wave 3 dropped, and then when 4 came back up, right, like when the retracement came back up, it didn't close above the low of 2, above this low, right? That's what makes it valid. If this had came all the way up and then it closed back above here, then that would make the whole setup invalid, right? So
Right.
that's why we are expecting, if I go on the 1 hour time frame to where price is at right now, right? That's why we are saying if price can come back and close above this low, right, then it's saying the downtrend has been invalidated for now. Price is giving us the reversal. So we knowing that, we are highlighting this area and saying this is our final confirmation that okay, price is going to do the upper wick fill. Yes, that's our final confirmation, but we would want to see maybe price coming back down to give us a stop and low for it to go higher, because remember they need to accumulate more traders for them to give us a big rejection, a big move up. And the only way that they can do that is by dropping price and making people think that price is going to sell. So I would like to see a stop and low, even if it doesn't come all the way down here. I would at least maybe want to see it come back to retest this area right here. Because even if you look at it this way, if we look at the daily candle, right, when the daily candle opened, it just went higher, right? London session opened, price did not retest the low of Asian session. So if London didn't retest the low of Asian session, then I'll be expecting New York to maybe try retest this low of Asian before going higher, because London is ranging right here. So maybe New York will give us the stop and low for price to go higher. Is it making sense? So when price closes above here, it's invalidating sales and it's now telling us, okay, we should be looking to buy because it's now breaking the range. And if it's breaking the range, it's only a matter of time until it closes above here. The moment it closes above here, we have our weekly wick fill in progress. Because this is the high that price needs to break for it to complete the weekly wick fill, the upper wick fill right here. But you can catch the trade from down here. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Are you seeing the same thing?
Yeah, I just highlighted the same lines on my chart so I can look at it later.
That's good. Maybe you can write something about this one. This is very important, this line right here. And then you can also maybe highlight saying that this is your, like if price closes above here, you have a chance of getting the weekly wick fill trade. So this is our range. This is sort of your guideline right here, this level right here. This is our Asian on Monday. That's when they set up all of their orders or the prices that they are looking to get. So the first area I would be looking at is that zone that we talked about. And if price even gets into this box around here, the Asian range from Monday, then price is going to do what we are talking about. It has higher chances of doing what we're expecting it to do. But yes, I hope that's making sense. I will touch more on the Asian range, why I use it. Oh yeah, something like that. Something like that. All right. I think that was a nice update.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. So all we will just be doing now is waiting.
All right, sure. That's great.
All right. Thank you and see you next time again.
All right, on Monday, 9:15.
By the way, will you upload this video on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm going to what is it called? I'm going to connect it with the other one, the one that we did
Ah,
on
yeah.
Monday.
Okay.
The,
Mm-hmm.
the one that we did on Monday, and then
Yeah.
I can upload it as one for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Alright, sure.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Alright, you too.
Bye.